just to say how delighted we are that we've been able to make some presentations on behalf of the Freemasons Crown Charity to the hospices in our area of East Kent. And we are perhaps fortunate, I would suggest, to say that we have some wonderful hospices which do sterling work in our area. And I think each one of us, no matter where we live in East Kent, and there may be differences of opinion where East and West Kent actually meet. I know where East Kent is, but most other people perhaps have different ideas as to whether Gravesend is East Kent or West Kent. But for our purposes, it's in our provincial area of East Kent. And I think it's very nice to see the work that you're doing and hearing stories of how people have been helped and touched and their families helped and supported during some very difficult times. And even recently I've had phone calls from various people who've actually been very helpful and very kind, and the words they've said about the hospices they've been in or relatives have been in, even over the last difficult period, particularly over Christmas, which is always a difficult time for them. And of course all this work is done without really much national support. It's a lot of work that you have to do, which you have to go out and get funding for it. And that's why the Freemasons Crown Charity, who we support through our various giving and the support that we're doing through our own festival at the moment, is one of the areas that we've been doing or giving money to which the Freemasons Crown Charity have supported the hospices for all the work they've been doing over that particular time. And indeed, they've actually donated, would you believe, amongst all the hospices in England and Wales, something like £9.3 million. That is a tremendous amount, and I feel very proud that I'm part of an organisation which is able to contribute something like that towards them. In the last year, we give the Freemasons Crown Charity give money on a regular basis to hospices. They apply for grants, and they are reviewed by the Grants Committee, and they have actually given or donated in this last year to 229 hospices a figure of £600,000. That's just in 1 year alone. So I think we're feel very proud that we're able to support such an organisation. And it's wonderful too that we actually have got the recipients of the hospices in this area, all 6 hospices, which we're able to support for something like nearly £20,000. And so all I would say is thank you very much indeed for all the good work that you're doing, and we hope that this will be perhaps only a small contribution, but hopefully a valued contribution that you will be able to use within your own organisations. I know from talking to various people, it's very much a case of perhaps ours is only a drop in the ocean. But if everybody else gives a drop in the ocean, that pool will get bigger and bigger, and hopefully people will be able to support these very well-run organisations. And indeed, it's very humbling when you go in and are taken around various hospices, as I have done in 1 or 2 throughout East Kent during the last few years. And so, may I ask perhaps each of the recipients to come up in turn, receive the cheque from us, and perhaps they'd like to say a little bit about the work that they're actually undertaking in their own particular hospice itself. And so the first one I've got on my list is Linda True and Elaine Higgins, if they'd like to come up from the Eleanor Lyons Hospice and tell us something about the work they're doing. You're Linda. You're Elaine. Anyway, if I turn you around this way.
Oh, sorry.
You know what I'm like. Anyway, there we go. I get those sort of comments from various things. Anyway, I hope you can use something. Perhaps you can say a few words. The donation we'd like to make to is to the Heart of Kent Hospice and to Jenny Watkins. Jenny, on behalf of the Freemasons Grand Charity, can we give you this award for you from them? And on our behalf, thank you for all the work that you're doing. Perhaps you can tell us something about the Heart of Kids Hospice.
Of course. Please forgive the quick cards, but as we were discussing now.
The next award which we'd like to make is to Demelza House. Demelza House has perhaps received a lot of publicity for all the good work they're doing. But it wasn't until recently I realised that one of our members, in fact, was very, very much involved in the work of that organisation and that house in Sittingbourne. And that's none other than Pat Flanagan. He's very dedicated not only to his Freemasonry, but also to the work that he does at Demelza. So on our behalf, can we thank you, Pat, for all the work you're doing. But we would like you to come forward and receive, on behalf of Demelza, a donation from the Freemasons Grand Charity.
Master, ladies, gentlemen, brethren, thank you very much indeed.
The last donation which we've got to give from Freemasons Grand Charity is to the Pilgrims Hospice, which most of you may know is actually located in 3 centres, in Canterbury, Thanet and Ashford. And although they have different payments going down to each one, we're very fortunate in having Dr. Richard Morey, Chairman of the Board of Trustees, who is here to receive the 3 cheques on behalf of those Pilgrims Hospices. So Dr. Richard, please. Yes, indeed. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much indeed. Yes, as you say, we are 3 hospices, and so very
those are the presentations, and can I thank the recipients very much indeed for not only coming along and receiving the cheques, but also to hear some of the work, and thank you for telling us a little bit about the work that you're doing within your various areas. Please will you take our best wishes back to your staff, and I do hope that through many of us who visit your hospices that we'll be able to see some of the good work that you're doing, and that we will continue to help and support you through Freemasons Grand Charity in future years to come. So thank you very much indeed. To you, brethren, this is something which I think is very special, and indeed I think it's very fortunate that we're able to make the presentations in this lodge, full of charity stewards and almoners, and perhaps you can take back some of those messages when we go back into our own particular lodges and chapters and actually say to people, well, what does Freemasonry or Freemasons Grand Charity do? This is what it does, and this is some of the efforts which actually we're hearing about today. So I hope you'll be able to take them back. And Worshipful Master, there he is, thank you very much indeed, Ryan, for allowing us to come along and make these presentations today.